Okay, vaccinations. Who vaccinates their cat? Everybody. Okay. There have been some changes in the way that we think about vaccinations as well, and we've seen some re-emergences of diseases associated with not vaccinating. So when you take your cat to the vet to get its jabs, it usually gets vaccinated against two diseases, the cat flu and another disease called feline enteritis, which is also known as feline panleukopenia. And we now know that when you get your cat vaccinated, it needs to have a number of shots as a kitten, and then it needs to have a booster at the age of around 12 months of age, and then it needs to have booster vaccines every 1 to 3 years, depending on what you do with your cat. If you put your cat into boarding, or it socialises with other cats, then it needs to have a booster every year. If your cat is not socialising or boarding, then it needs to have a booster every 3 years. And that's part of new worldwide vaccine recommendations that have been established by the World Small Animal Veterinary Association. And but in Australia, just recently, there have been some outbreaks of one of the diseases that we vaccinate against, and that's the feline panleukopenia or the feline enteritis. And that has, we've seen outbreaks in the last 2 years, mostly in shelters that haven't been able to vaccinate cats on admission. And unfortunately, we've seen really large-scale losses of cats in Melbourne and Mildura, and more recently in Sydney. And we know that the vaccines are really, really effective. So we're glad to say that we have seen a number of shelters around Australia really respond by implementing vaccinations. But it's a good thing to lobby your local council about, because not all councils that have animal holding facilities will vaccinate animals on admission, and that's something that we'd like to see more of. Health checks. With the change in vaccination strategies, if you only need to go every 3 years for a booster vaccine, you definitely need to take your cat at least once a year for a health check. And if you think about it, 1 year of a cat's life is equivalent to about 7 years of our lives. So if you were only going to a vet with your cat every 3 years, that would be like going to the doctor every 21 years of your life, which would not be good. And remember also that when you take your cat to the vets, you're also taking it to the dentist. And cats commonly get problems with their teeth, and a lot of that is associated with nutrition. So it is important to go to your vets for an annual checkup to get their teeth checked, among other things.